There we go. A reminder that we've got some really good upcoming sessions too. January 27th, we have Stephanie presenting on EPIC reading and Explode the Code, some great online literacy tools she'll be sharing with us. February 3rd, so in 2 weeks from now, we have Stacia sharing about Boom Cards, which is something that a lot of people have been talking about and using. So if you haven't checked those out, that would be a great session to attend. On February 10th, so a few weeks from now, we will be having open office hours where you can come, you pick the topics, we talk about things that we've covered in the past or anything AT related. So those are the upcoming ones. Registration is open for all 3 of those, so feel free to click on those links to register for any and all. We do office hours to share resources. We know that people are on high learning curves here in distance learning, hybrid learning, all of the different models. And so we wanted to make sure that we were sharing resources across the region. We know that a lot of people are using really cool tools, like the one we're going to learn about today. And so we wanted to make sure that those are getting shared out across the region. Whenever we think about assistive technology, we think about the SET framework, and that, say it with me, is about the student, the environments, the tasks, and the tools, making sure that we keep the student, environment, and task in mind as we're choosing tools. And then, of course, looking through a lens of equity to make sure that, that each one of our students is receiving exactly what it is that they need. Our agenda today, we'll get to hear some great things from Laura, then we'll make sure that we have time at the end for question and answers and a wrap up. I just included this slide, but just so you know, it's a flyer from the Northern Lights Special Education Co-op webpage that has directions and information on how to access the STAR online learning system, a link to request access, and then there's just a brief description there. So just wanted to throw that slide in just so that you knew exactly where to go to get access. And I'd like to introduce to you today Laura Berman. I'll have her tell you a little bit about herself, but thank you so much for being here, Laura, and I'll stop presenting my screen.
Sure thing. Thanks for having me. So I'm Laura Berman. I teach students with severe and profound disabilities in Cloquet Middle School. I have students in grades 5 through 8. I'm currently teaching from home. We are still on distance until next Tuesday when we'll be back in the building. But I just wanted to share this program with you because I think it's super helpful. And the transition going from distance learning back to school is going to be seamless because of how I've done this. And that's big. Making something work when you're distance learning, hybrid learning, at school learning is super, super beneficial for all of us, and not having to change systems or programs or whatever just to make it work. So I'm going to be sharing some things. It's SOLS is the program that I'm using, and it's part of STAR and LINKS. They're all kind of mixed. They're all kind of interwound. But I'm just going to share what I would like to share with you and show how I'm doing things these days. If you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat or ask out or whatever. I'm just going to kind of blow through this because it's not a ton. It's a ton of information and not much time. So basically, if you go to starautismsupport.com, you will show up at this page right here. I do most of my work in the media center up here. So when you click here, there is a plethora of information, you guys. Like if you were to get in here and get access, you will find so much stuff to keep you busy and so many things to use in your classroom. So much. There are things like COVID-19 supports. Now, these are things that are specific to working with students with disabilities and COVID-19. There are hand washing resources. These are things that you can hang up by your sink, videos that you watch with the students, things, just visuals and things that our students really need to succeed a lot of times. There's school guidelines, like how people are opening. There's Souls at Home, which is kind of the, it's kind of what, this is interactive with parents or caregivers as well. So there's things for them to look into that will help them work with you, if you know what I mean. So if you have students that are nonverbal, you can have their caregiver or their parent or whatever next to them while you're doing this one-on-one with them, and they'll be able to tell you what their answers were or whatever. So it works really nicely. There's also home packets, you guys, if you're looking for more of the, let's see, these are secondary and primary are covered in this program. So if you're working primary, you're going to do themes like Winter Wonderland is what we're doing right now. Next month, it's going to be Under the Sea. We've done zoo animals. We've done farm animals. We've done transportation. We've done community helpers, okay, things like that. Secondary does more routine-based stuff, mealtime behavior and socializing with others and riding public transportation and those kind of things. So I'm kind of skipping what I do with my class and just kind of zooming through some of these other things just so I can show you a little more about this site. But when you go to these in-home packets, these are amazing, you guys. These are all the themes, so things that go, helpers in my community. And these are all file folder activities and individual work activities that you can print and or send home with your students. So, I mean, this is set 23 pages of things that go along with the theme that we're on, which is, I forgot which one I clicked on, transportation probably. Every single level that your kids could possibly be at is available. You don't have to just have one umbrella of activities to go through. There's a billion different levels that you can get into. So essential is your lowest level learners. Intermediate would be the next higher, and advanced is the highest. So there's also a way that you can, on this site, choose which strand each of your students belongs in, which is really helpful when you're looking at things like this, because you'll learn where the students are academically and which one of these groupings would work best for them and whether they would fit into the intermediate, advanced, or essential group or level. Let's see. There's also, I use this when I'm in school. Themes first is what I use when I'm in-person teaching. This gives me everything and more that I would ever need to run my classroom. One of the great things it does, it gives me circle time activities, group activities, math activities, language arts activities. It gives you this calendar here that I use a lot. I basically print this out and it will tell me, week 1, these are the things that you're going to do with your group during circle time. When you're doing small group things, here are the games or the cooking or the art or the life skills or the social studies that you're going to work with during those days. This is really amazing. And these are things, like I said, that work best when you're in person, because it's a lot of, playing games together, and these things just aren't as easy to do virtually. So
do you have this for secondary also?
Yes. I will show you real quick here. Let's see. I'll jump into secondary and show you. I think I have to go back one more. I don't. Okay, I know what I'm doing. Instead of the themes for secondary, you would go into routine essentials. And routine essentials right now, these are the units that are available. So independent work, bathroom self-care, circle time, snack, breakfast, arrival, recess, transition. So transition is often a very necessary thing for our students. And it comes up with a bajillion different things that you can do. So there is, I'm going to just scoot down, my time schedule. You can open things and have these all at your fingertips, fill them out as every student needs. Some kids really, it's a fillable form even. See, I don't do a ton with secondary, so this is kind of a new thing. But look at how neat this is. This is like a basic boom, boom, boom. This is what you're doing during the day. There is also picture schedules and behavior supports and transition icons that you can use when you're transitioning, wall strip templates for different sorts of activities you'll be doing, special event templates. So if you have something going on in your classroom that is a little bit out of whack and the kids might get a little thrown off, but just look at all these things. These are all attachments. Check off schedule, transition schedule. Just when you get in here and dig around, you guys, I'll be honest, it's overwhelming at the beginning because there's so much stuff that you're like, holy cow, I want to do it all, but where do I start? So what I've done is I have started using SOLS, the Star Online Learning System. This is what I do with my students. Every day we have our 1 o'clock meeting and we go through our SOLS information. So on here, I again do primary. Secondary is the same exact way. It's just different levels different topics. So if I was going to do secondary, some of the topic for this month that they're working on is riding in a vehicle. Okay. Like I said, the topic we're working on is Winter Wonderland. So it's routines and things for secondary and more just themes for the younger version. But if you jump into here, we'll look at the secondary one. This is the strand. So you can work on these individually with each student, depending on what strand they are. This reel is kind of like the PowerPoint that you will use to go through with the kids. The reels change based on the strand that your student is in. So the one I use mostly is strand D because I do this with a group of students. There's 6 or 7 of us every day on there. So I do the group strand. This is just when you click on that, it shows you a preview of all the things that are included in the group strand. Now, mind you, this right here is a whole month worth of curriculum for me. Okay. So it's not, you don't just bomb through this in one day. Like this is a whole month. So basically it shows you can add and subtract things too. I haven't had to do that because of the way I'm working it in my room, but you can take things out if they don't apply to you. So riding in a vehicle, this is all morning meeting kind of stuff. I don't use a ton of this, but it goes through rules and expectations and creating the schedule and group jobs and attendance and things like this that you can do with the students. And this is something you could do every day or not. Like I said, I don't use this because it doesn't work for me. But once you get into the academic stuff, this is the fun stuff. This is what I use. So there's 5 different activities, okay? This is kind of a weird one. I'm going to go to a different one because this vocabulary thing is we're going to go to math. It tells you what to do and how to work with the students. This is vehicle shape patterns. Then you would have your group of students help you figure out what the next step is. So notice that riding in a car, all of the icons are matching the theme of the whatever unit you're working on. Clicking next, it always shows you the right answer. So you work together as a group on this part and you say, okay, what comes next? Mary, what comes next? And she'll say, I think it's the wheel or the tire. And you'll say, yep, there it is. The tire was the next one in the pattern. And again, this is the group level. So you go through all these. This is like one activity. All this pattern stuff I would do, it would take probably 5 or 6 minutes to go through this with the students. Then, oh my gosh, this is a long one. I'm sorry then it's like, oh, you're finished with that activity. You can be done now or you can keep going. So the next thing is how far is it? It just, again, we're using driving in a car and we are going to the movies. So how do we do this? If we're, it just kind of brings in the theme, which is kind of a fun thing, but it also really focuses on the academic parts. Again, it tells you the answer. So it'll say, here's the problem. Oh, there's the answer. It's 3. These are just examples, you guys. Every month is very, very different. There is never something, I've been doing this since March, and I have never seriously seen a a repeat activity. Like they're very good about having billions of things. There's large motor activities, there's social studies activities, science, and social emotional. So tell us what object you can take in a vehicle. I mean, again, using the vehicle, we need to bring things. What can we bring? So are these, talking about what would be best to bring in the vehicle, like a covered bottle of water or a cup of hot cocoa, and it really just gets the discussions going, and it helps the kids, and they all get their turns, and it really, it's fantastic. Social communication is another one. Talks about there's lots of conversation starters and social games and communication practices. So this can be done with, SLPs. This can be done with OTs. This can be done with classroom teachers. Paras can sit down and do this with your students. There's role play and video modeling for certain functional routines. I want to just jump in and show you what it looks like for me. So when I do this, I tend to work better in Google Slides. Now, they've made a lot of adjustments in STAR so that you can just click on which part you like. But I find that when I'm looking at all of these different things and all of these academic lessons, I get lost and I end up clicking around more than I need to. So I take what I want out of these and I basically copy the slide and paste it into a Google slide. That works best for me. Again, everybody's got their own plan and you don't have to do what I do, but that works best for me because I like to add other things into my slides and into my presentation. So a typical morning, I say morning, it would be 1 o'clock that we meet. We always start with a question of the day. This is always up when the kids join Zoom. This is how we get our day started. We're not jumping right into work. We're having a little fun. If your favorite soda pop, what kind of soda pop? Oh, when was the last time you had lemonade? Make it kind of a fun beginning. And then I do a calendar and I just use the STAR Fall calendar, which is free. You don't have to have a membership to do the calendar. And it's something that my kids know. We did it when we were at school this fall and we did it every day when we've been on distance learning. So it's something that's familiar. This is not part of STAR. This is my own additions that I put into my slideshow. The Mitten Read Aloud is part of STAR, and there's videos and things that you can, it came all out of that reel.
Writing's not that easy,
Gosh.
but Grammarly can help. This sentence.
And basically this is someone reading the story. So I make it big and I make it loud and the kids can listen to the story and I don't have to worry about who can see the pages and who can hear. It's all very, very well done. And the videos they use, they're good videos. They're not like just someone sitting there holding a book. They're nice. They see how the pictures move and the pages turn and things like that. So after that book, I would then start using, these are the things that come out of STAR. And basically I would be working on beginning sounds. So this particular activity does not relate to the Winter Wonderland theme. Sometimes you'll find things that just kind of get shoved in there and don't relate, but that's fine because it still works just as good. I put these numbers here because with my students, some of them don't know first, second, third, or the one on the left or the one on the right. So I asked them which word. Is it word 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? And we would, start by saying, this is a pizza. It starts with p, p. Which of these words down here, what number word starts with p, that kind of thing. So I just add those little numbers on there just for my own well-being because a lot of them will point to their screen at home and I have to keep reminding them that I can't see their screen at home. So they have to, use these numbers instead. So we would go through all this vocabulary. And after that, I put seesaw activities into my slideshows. So I just have the link here and we open this up and it's a seesaw activity about mitten patterning or something. Yep. So we then do this as a group and we're talking about patterns. What comes next? Let's finish the pattern, And so that's just a little bit different. It's interactive and I'm the one doing the interacting. So I'm the one moving the oops. That happens to me every single time I try to start doing a seesaw is I use the pen instead of the mover. I'm the one moving things and putting them where they belong, but the kids are telling me where to put them. So then after that, we come back and at the end of every day, I have a slide that says, have a good day. So that's how I have been using it. Like I said, I'm going to continue using this when we get back to school because It's easy. The kids understand it. The kids know it. And at school, when we're there, they'll be able to manipulate it. They'll be able to, because it is a touch screen sort of thing, they'll be able to do it up on my smartboard. It just really is a fantastic program. And I wish I had, I could probably go on. I have a lot more that I could share with all of you, but I feel like, obviously it's only a half an hour gig here. So just know that it's there, and it's available to all of you. If you have questions or anything, lberman@isd94.org is my email. Give me a call or give me a text or just let me know. I'd be happy to walk you through it if you need any additional help. What questions do you have? I know that was really fast, you guys, and I touched on like a quarter of what's available. So just know that I kind of just zoomed through it.
That was a great intro, Laura. Yeah, let's open it up for questions. If you can feel free
You're
to.
muted, I think, or something, or I can't hear you, or something's going on. Oh, hang on.
Can you cross over?
That's totally me.
Use
Sorry.
some from elementary and some from secondary?
You can, yeah, you can do it however you want. You can set it for different classes. You can, however you want to do it. Both of them are available for you.
Great. Any other questions? You can feel free to type them in the chat window. I can read them out, or Laura can read them, and then we can, or of course, feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions too.
There's also, those take-home packets have handwriting practice, different levels of handwriting practice, like tracing or dot to dots or writing letters or tracing lines, or there's just so many different levels that you can work at with these students. And I print off a lot of stuff and make a lot of file folder games. You might want to invest in some Velcro dots because they will be fantastic in making those. But the list goes on. And the nice thing is when you make these file folder games or activities, as the theme changes, they all fit the same file folder thing that you made. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel or make new file folders every single time. All of the file folder activities are meant to be interchangeable through themes. So that's super beneficial as well.
Great. And I love how you shared how you kind of take the content from Souls and put it into Google Slides so that you can kind of make it your own and pull the pieces that work for you and put it in a format that works for you in presenting. I could see people using these pieces with Jamboard. I know some of them people are using Jamboard. Yeah, it was great to see that element of it.
Yep. And everybody's got their own way to do it, and I will sit down, like the new themes come out on the 20th. So I will sit down today or tomorrow and I will plan out the entire month of February and be done. Like, it's ready, and every day I just jump into my drive and I pull up the date for the day and my slides are done and I don't even have to worry about it, So it takes a little work at the beginning, just because I do add things in and whatever, but yeah.
Well, and one other thing too is, this curriculum was designed for students with autism, but clearly it's at levels that work for students in a variety of different levels and clearly with a variety of different disability categories as you're using it in a DCD setting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can be, there's things to do with kids who only do hand over hand, and there's things to do for kids that are reading, and everywhere in between.
Yeah, that's super helpful.
Yeah, it's been great. And like I said, I'm going to continue this when we get back to school because it works. And I have a couple of kids who aren't coming back. So at our group meeting, they'll just Zoom in and we'll do it together like we've been doing it all along. And it really is, like I said, a seamless transition.
That's great because transitions are not always seamless.
This one's going to be, darn it.
Good. That's great.
Oh, funny.
Excellent. All right. Well, we can make sure to hang around at the end if there's a couple more questions, but I'll just go through the last couple of slides with some little pieces there. But thank you, Laura, so much for
Absolutely.
sharing this content with us. It seems like an amazing program. I have not seen the online portion of that, so thank you for sharing that with us. Here come the slides. Just a reminder that all of the recorded sessions are put up on the Region 3 AT YouTube channel, and we make sure that we have captions available for those. So if you ever miss any office hours, they're always on that YouTube channel, and you'll be sent, of course, a recording of today's session. Next week, we have Stephanie Jasperson-Agonis, like I said, talking about EPIC and Explode the Code, so you can make sure to register for that one. And just a reminder, as I said at the very beginning before we started recording, you can help us name these office hours. And Laura just shared with us a wealth of information, but think about, to sort of narrow it down, is there just one thing that you're going to do walking away today, whether that's getting access to this program or thinking about one class group of students or even one student that you might use this with? Think about what is that one thing that you're going to do walking away today. And again, thank you so much to Laura for presenting for us today. And also thank you to all of you for showing up and learning about this great resource. We'll make sure that you get a recording of this session and a CEU certificate, but feel free to reach out to me, Julie Ray, with any questions. There, that email address there on the screen. I'll stop presenting, but if any other questions have come up, feel free to jump in with those, and I'll also stop recording now too.